another ad hoc video, and that's fine because it shows a bit of realism. It shows what my thought process is. Nothing's scripted, nothing's planned. So I want to talk about the moon landing. It happened on July 20th, 1969, and there were repercussions for that moon landing. There was a lot of technology and social capital and intellectual capital that was born of the moon landing. But I agree with Lawrence Krauss, otherwise known as Sauerkraus. Well, I forget where I got that joke from, but I mean it's funny. Um, but I agree with Lawrence Krauss in terms of the moon landing and what it actually did in terms of space travel, which is not much. We can look at the usefulness of the moon landing and see quite blatantly that since 1969, or at least since 1972, to the state we are in right now, there hasn't been much effort placed on the moon landing and on where that actually went. The Americans are now planning to go back to the moon, and it's still in the same spirit of competitiveness with, say, countries like India and China, and even with the Russians when it comes to rocket technology. So I would say that yes, there was a lack of vision, and I know Kennedy kind of made that visionary kind of stance when it came to space travel, but I feel he lacked a little bit in substance. There wasn't a real follow through with the moon landing. Now, don't get me wrong; it was an amazing technical feat, and something like if you left me up to it, like in a million or a billion, say I lived for a billion years, like I wouldn't be able to come up with anything even closely resembling space travel. Like I wouldn't even be able to think about it. Like so I'm saying that there was not even some, but there was a lot of um, offshoots and spin-offs from the space program. But in terms of space travel and understanding the universe in its larger sense, I feel like the moon landing was a little bit lacking. And maybe that's blasphemous. That's maybe a little bit blasphemous to say, since the moon landing was this great American kind of global understanding of landing a man on the moon, despite it being kind of an insular American achievement as well, which I think we all kind of have a sense of in terms of the insularity and all that stuff. So it's good. It was good, but I feel like there was some long-term strategizing that was and still continues to be a little bit not not realistic. But we'll see. We'll see. China has this new massive radio telescope that I think is being doled out to scientists around the world, and I think that's putting China on the map as well. But even in a Chinese context, there's still this kind of pseudo capitalist competitive kind of understanding of man's unity and man's unity in terms of reaching out to the nether regions of being. So that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, that's pretty much. Bye.